YouTube, what's up? DJ Wado, my brother Canon is here with us.
What it is.
We got a lot of things to talk about, man, including he got some new music coming up. He might be hitting the road, and you know he always got some great thoughts on what's going on in this current music space, man. Stay tuned.
Let's get the people what they want. The Wado Radio Show.
Of course, it's DJ Wado, and I'm here with my brotro.
What's up, y'all?
Canon.
It's your man in the
You
building.
leaving me hanging?
My bad, I'm still waking up, man. I woke up like about an hour and a half ago.
Hey, man, I'm still waking up, and I've been up for a little minute, man. I had a long day yesterday, man.
Yesterday was long.
Yeah, man. How you been, though?
I've been good, man. I've been good. I've been working a lot. I've been traveling a lot. I feel like every year my travel beefs up like
Hey,
at
that's
least
a good
25%. Yeah, like it's good to be on the road. So
Yeah.
I know just overall the RMG team we've been trying to push out a lot of work.
Yeah.
Tour stuff coming up and yeah.
RMG tour?
Trying to do something.
Something.
At least kick off something, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, we gotta put a stamp in. We gotta let people know we here. Not just in Christian hip hop, but everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, it's been interesting just to see the growth of all of you all as individual artists and as men, but even the label, like, man, what Doc is doing with Amplify right now is crazy, bro.
Yeah, man. I honestly feel like Doc and Derek is part of that, and Risha never gets any love.
That's true.
I feel like they are literally rebuilding a foundation for Christian hip hop as far as giving outlets to people who may have not had a platform. And so, you know, and they don't have to be a part of RMG. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, we want to support what you already got going on. That's what I love about it, because we're not necessarily looking for a whole lot in return, but we really want to see the culture thrive. They brought us here. We got to keep them alive, man. We gotta give back. So, yeah, bro. I'm proud of what the label is doing. I'm proud to be a part of the label, and I hope that we can continue to build more infrastructure and more outlets and opportunities for people that want to be artists.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I feel like, man, like, I was actually having this conversation with Belief earlier. To me, one of the biggest challenges that has kind of taken place in the past few years, it's harder for independent artists to build capital.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, 6, 7, 8 years ago, when iTunes was really booming, you throw your album on TuneCore, there was a core group of Christian rap fans that were buying those albums, and that was helping to fund a lot of ministries. And it's just like now, the rules and all of that stuff has changed. You know, you got to have a much more focus on merch, touring, which is why it's encouraging to hear you say, yo, my joint went up 25%. Like that, like that's what it takes.
Yeah. If not more. I mean, it's just, I think it's hard to be an independent artist when you have major labels giving, just like at the drop of a nail, like just amazing opportunities to other artists, and you're like, well, how can we get to that? And I think part of that is you have to realize you're competing with major labels. And you know, like, you can't look at it as like, man, you're just competing with other indie labels. Like RMG is competing with other major labels. You know what I'm saying? And we have to play that game. We have to understand the game and play it well. Otherwise, man, we're gonna continuously find ourselves like opening for cats on major labels, yet we got bigger platforms than them. You know, so it's just we have to stay up. Professionally, we have to stay up. As far as our branding, our marketing, we got to be ahead of the curve every time, you know, because we already have a strike against us because we're indie.
Sure.
So.
Sure. You've you know, one thing, man, you've never had a shortage of music. You've definitely hit us with a string of singles this year. And diversity in your sound, like me and Jody were actually talking about this earlier. Like, you know, even Nino Brown was like such a different sound from, you know, what you normally do, and it's good to see, you know, you still experimenting in your music, man. You know what I mean?
I'm trying. You know, stuff that I'm doing now, I could have done years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was there mentally.
Yeah.
To like, or even just, I don't know if I had the courage to do it because I did, my bad. Because I typically did what worked. My bad, man. And it was like, this is easy. Like, I can easily do this. I can do a loud music in my sleep. I can even do an Eagles in my sleep. But other things that I know is different, you know, I was like, man, I don't know if they're going to receive this. And at times I was too worried about numbers, and I was too worried about, like, crowd reception. Then I realized, man, just make good music and make the music you want to hear. So I just started branching out, you know, and experimenting different things. On this album that I'm working on, it's going to be really, really experimental. I'm going to send it to you. Like, I'm going to send it to you. It's going to be really experimental.
Wow.
You're going to get some stuff that you may expect from me, but you're going to get some stuff that you would never in a million years expect from me.
Wow.
So it's it's going to be fun. And then, to be
What
honest,
sparked that creativity, though? Like, for you to...
I'm honestly just discouraged from hip-hop.
Wow.
Just discouraged from where it's at. It's hard for me to listen to a lot of music that's out today and just be like, oh man, this made me want to get back in the booth. It's been like, praise God for like a Childish Gambino, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To put out what he put out, you know. Praise God for like a J. Cole, for, you know, to see them still doing different things. Even a Jaden Smith, like, the man had like a 4-song intro, you know what I'm saying? And it was like just the creativity, the transitions from song to song, the musical instrumentation, like, it was all inspiring. And it made me want to get back. And also just, man, like, some of the stuff that Derek has been doing lately has been really inspiring. I feel like this is some of his best music now.
Yeah,
and
Derek is pushing the album up right now, bro.
His trap album that he gonna drop is amazing. And then after that, after the album after trap, like the trap, like, it's I don't even know if there's a category you can put it in, to be honest. We were sitting in. I'm sorry, I thought I put it on vibrate. We were listening in a van just to his next project after the trap, and I was scratching my head. I was like, this is amazing, but I don't know what I would call this, because you can't really just call this hip hop, and you can't just call this, like, oh, I can't tell you all the genres, but like, it's just inspiring. And I had to get away from just listening to whatever is just put out in hip hop, and branch out and go back to some of what I would normally do and just listen to everything. I don't know why my phone is still on off, bro. I swear, like, oh, man, I'm gonna just tell these jokers I'm in.
Hey, we gotta give Canon a phone tutorial right now.
My bad.
No, you good, man.
But like, I would go back and I would literally, like, go outside and listen to just the city or whatever, and I would listen to, like, a train go by,
Yep.
And then I would go back to the studio and try to make that train a loop or whatever, and then make a beat out of it, and just different things like that, and just make music.
Yourself,
just make music out of what is already there, as opposed to trying to create or recreate something that's been replayed over and over and over again. So I'm just trying to do some different stuff that may inspire, because I've been inspired.
I've heard some artists say that, like, when it comes to the creative process, and I'm wondering, I wondered if this happens with you, is like you're like, sometimes the first idea isn't the idea that sticks, but it's the one that starts the process of getting you to, you know, the final destination of what a song ends up becoming.
Yeah, I don't even know, like, when I start creating something, I don't even know what it's going to end up sounding like.
Yeah.
I just keep going until I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I even with my album, I started a certain way, and it ended up being something completely different than what I intended. And I was like, I'm satisfied with this. But yeah, I think, like, even with me and Derek work differently. Derek will have a concept up front and say, I want to build on this concept. Me, I'm like, I don't have a concept at the moment. I just want to keep creating and creating and creating. And after a while, it'll begin to mold itself, and then I just be like, That's what it is. That's how I came up with Loose Cannon. Like, it's like I'm just gonna create a whole bunch of songs to express myself the best way that I can, and it felt like a shotgun of ideas and perspectives, a shotgun of sound and just feel, and that ended up being
That series was crazy though.
a Loose Cannon, yeah. And we still got more coming.
So you got 4? It would be 4, right?
It'll be 4. It'll be 4. But before I knock out a 4th, I got to give y'all a whole album. So
I got you.
But we gonna come back with some 4, man. I love what like people like Lil Wayne do, and they have like the Carter 5, Carter, all them jokers. Right. Like I've always been a fan of that junk, man. Just create a legacy of music.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna tell you, man. One of my favorite projects, it might be my favorite project, was Mad Haven.
That's funny you say that, because when Mad Haven first came out, I feel like it didn't catch on that well to a lot of people.
It got a lot of play for me.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Like, I feel like, because I feel like, let me see, I dropped.
Here was my thing with Mad Haven. This is why I liked it. That's when I feel like you became an artist. I felt like prior to Mad Haven, most of what you put out was turn up party records, right? Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Like, you're very good at that.
But Mad Haven showed a lot of diversity and a lot of, I guess, maturity and perspective.
Yep.
I think it's because Derek was challenging me on. He was like, bro, you go through a lot of life and people don't know it. You experience a lot of life, and there's so much that you bring to the table that they don't see. They know they're gonna get the turn up from you, but they don't realize you are wrestling whether or not you should date a girl right now.
Yep.
And that's why I wrote Relations. You know what I'm saying? It was like they don't realize like your experience and culture from Chicago, and that's when we made My City. So I was like, man, I gotta bring my experiences to the table. Besides the fact that I just like to have parties and turn up and all that. And so
I feel like without Mad Haven too, I don't know if you get to the point where you make it Eagles either.
True.
I mean, maybe. True. But you know what I mean?
True. No, I think that's true. Eagles is just so different. I still to this day don't know how Eagles came about, man. But I just know it came.
And you're thankful for it, right?
Right. Well, I know there was a lot of inspiration that came from the accident. I think with Mad Haven, it was just, I think my crowd was so used to a turn up. When I told them with Mad Haven just to sit down and listen to my heart, it was just different. It slowed things down. Some stuff kind of stayed the same, but it was like even songs like Mind Vomit or, it's just I wasn't used to slowing the crowd down. And to a degree, I would do that on some songs like Man in the Mirror from from Blind World, but like I said, like I just got comfortable with knowing what worked. And so with this new album, I'm going back to that. So I don't want people to think that Kenny just gonna get on stage and just gonna turn up. Like, it's just like, no, I want to show you that we can have a conversation.
Yeah, that change of pace. Like, I even had to learn that as a DJ. Like, and especially in the playlist era, it's so easy to just line up 10 songs in a row that all got the same vibe. But what you do is when you're performing, whether it's, on the mic or you burn the crowd out. You know what I mean? You go hard in the paint for like 10, 12 minutes like that in a row. Crowd burnt out. And then, you know what I mean, you gotta you kinda gotta pivot, man. So
I've started to learn that in my live shows.
Your live show is crazy now, though.
I would do 45 minutes of just all turn up. Like, it's just nothing but turn up. I wouldn't slow nothing down at first. But now it's like I'm seeing so much benefit from, like, it's like come out with a hard bang, but slow it down for a little bit. It's like, all right, I got your attention now. Let's talk. Let's sit down and chill. Let's have a conversation. Let me walk you through some of the hard times of my life. Let's talk about where we are as a family, as a country, as a culture, as a genre. But I don't want to just sit here and just be sad and somber. And it's not always sad and somber. But I also want to celebrate where we're going and where we are. And so, we bring it back on a high note, you know. But a high note isn't always hypeness. Like sometimes a high note is, man, we at first were separated, now we're coming together. A high note is, you know, maybe a new moment of truth that was given. And it's like I learned, don't be afraid to leave them with silence. Let them walk away thinking, you know, and silence isn't a bad thing. That just means something is happening that doesn't involve sound, you know, and it just took me a long time to realize, and it's not a bad thing. I used to think people not responding was a bad thing. That's not always a bad thing. They're just thinking about what just happened. So, you know, it's just been a long time coming, I'm always taking notes for myself. I'm always feeling like, man, I'm just not getting started, you know. So, but that's what I'm excited about this project, because I'm trying to do different things. So, like I said before, either some people gonna love it or they gonna hate it. Whoever hate it, I don't care, because I love it.
Yeah. You got a title for it yet?
Nah, to be honest. Well, we have a couple ideas, but we haven't
Nailed it down?
We haven't nailed it down yet. Title was always my last thing. I'm gonna just start having other people title my projects, man. I am not a title person at all, bro. Loose Cannon was the one thing that worked out for me. Outside of that, I'm not a title person, man, like, at all. I mean, if people knew what my first rap name was, they would know.
They would know, right?
The project, man, is it deals with a lot of just household relationships kind of thing. We're all broken, but we're technically all in the same house, but we're all broken, dealing with different things. You know, you got, like, as if it was a real relationship, man, you have your family who may have dealt with some issues in the home, and then you got to deal with them as an individual. You got to go back into the world and carry those differences into the world and wrestle with those differences in the world with also the differences in the home. And then you got to come back home and you got to deal with things at home. Like, it's a lot of different dynamics we deal with on the day, on a daily. And I don't think we're always processing. I don't think we're always processing the reality that we're always processing. So it's, you know, so that's what the project is doing. Like, one concept on the project is a song called Houses, and houses is the idea that it's kind of like a slave. And I don't mean to make this a racial thing. People get sensitive when you want to talk about race, just because they don't have to deal with it. But the idea, the concept that individuals have built people's houses, and in light of them building houses, they don't have a room in the house. They built it and they don't even have a place to stay. And then what they're given for isn't in comparison to what they've given to build the house. And so, you know, and so I say that to say that is kind of equivalent to what you may see in the culture, even in the hip hop culture, Christian hip hop culture. We have people building other people's brands, and as they do it, those individuals who help build it, they don't necessarily get what they felt is due to them in return. And so a lot of those individuals are like, hey, do we have a place to live in this house that we helped build? And they're like, no, sorry. I mean, a few of these guys do, but not y'all.
Not everybody.
Not everybody, sorry. So those guys go back and they're like, so how do we build our houses? We built y'all houses all the time. They realize they don't have a house for themselves. And so now they're like midway.
Don't have the resources to get the material to build their own.
No resources. They don't even know who to talk to. And so, so they're like midway through their career, almost finishing their careers, and they don't have a place to go. And they're like, I guess this isn't what I thought, this isn't the legacy that I thought I was gonna have. So now you got people dropping out of being artists and discovering other things that they could be doing. But that's all because they spent so much time building somebody else's house and they don't have their own, you know what I'm saying? Or were even given the resources to build their own. So we see that a lot, you know, and I'm not saying no names, I ain't even subtweeting, but that's a reality, you know, and I I start off with a slave perspective because I think that's the easiest concept to grasp that people can understand. But that happens everywhere we go. I mean, even a lot of the women in the industry who work hard, or women in corporate offices that work hard, they help build the businesses, like Orisha, you know what I'm saying? They help build.
Your wife can help build a couple businesses.
My wife has built yes. You know what I'm saying? And they quietly play the background, and they continue to hold their end, and not if not 10 times more than what's been asked. But a lot of times they have to fight to just get what's already been owed to them. You know what I'm saying? And so that kind of stuff I want to talk about, man, because it's frustrating, because I think we as men have the responsibility as well to speak up and say, nah, she deserves to be CEO. No, she deserves to be top of the ranking as far as any kind of management. No, like she deserves a percentage of the company as well, because she was here since day one. You know what I'm saying? And I think when we don't give people that and what's due to them, I think we not only leave a bad taste in the mouths of others, but I think we send a strong message to people who have given their backs to build businesses. So I want to have that conversation, man, because I'm like, some stuff ain't right, and it's about time to kind of put that to the forefront. It's like, man, why these jokers don't? How come they don't have anything that's due to them?
Yeah.
You know, and that's why RMG right now we're trying to help build.
And y'all helping a lot of people build houses right now, bro.
So
y'all like HUD. Y'all like HUD out here, bro.
Man, we trying to make it right for people, man, because we just don't want to see the same things happen over and over again, man. And nobody's perfect. People make mistakes, but you can't keep making the same mistake over and over again, knowing that you made that mistake the first time. So, so this isn't just a call out to, our communal family, but this is a call out to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So, get people what's due to them, man. Don't muzzle the ox. So
that's good. That's good. Yo, this has been a topic for a while in our community. Mm-hmm. Me and Dayton were actually talking about this the other day in one of these, just around, the hashtag that went around a while ago, the CHA sexism, and just how we get more exposure for female artists, and some of the challenges that may exist with touring and that piece of it, man. I was just like, you've been around this mug for a little while now, you know what I mean? And I was just curious your thoughts on why we don't see more women.
Be honest,
both in the front and the behind.
Yeah, and I've spoken to some women, and I'm not gonna mention any names, but I think guys, man, like, I'm gonna put this like first and foremost, guys don't got their own house in order, and just with their own lives, like, and maybe it's something they done to where they lost trust in their own home with their own wives, but guys are definitely strong-arming other women, you know what I'm saying? Of course, to protect their own household, their own families, and said, nah, I ain't finna be like chilling with you, just kicking it with you as a female artist, because I don't know how my wife gonna feel about that. And it's like, like my wife knows she can trust me around another female artist because I've had integrity amongst all of my sisters and as artists. And so I don't have an issue working with female artists and all that. Or even if we were to put them on a tour, I've actually been frustrated that women don't get enough, like,
those looks, right?
They don't get enough, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's I think men have distanced themselves out of a fear that working with another woman, even in career, like, could jeopardize their marriage, or and I've seen it happen unintentionally. I've seen it happen. So they say, no, we're not about to do that.
On the practical side with the tour, how do you make it work, maybe financially, if that's the only female on the tour? You talking extra hotel rooms and all kind of stuff like that. Like,
yeah, there's ways around all of this junk, man. Like, you can't use a hotel room excuse no more. You can get Airbnb. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can get an Airbnb where there's multiple rooms. You know what I'm saying? I would not put a female on the tour and she's the only lady on the road.
Yeah.
I would at least have at least 2 or 3 women on, like, total, you know, like,
Yeah.
with her, just some sisters that
Maybe somebody's road manager or something.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, maybe it's another sister that's with her that's helping her with her merch.
Yep.
Or,
Yep.
you know, but somebody, you know, just another covering for her, you know. I think that's necessary. And I think it's needed. Because when you choke out a woman's presence in the hip hop community, like you're destroying what could be great in my mind, you know. I mean, like, I praise God Jackie Hill doesn't feel like she got to be a Christian rapper.
Right.
She could just do her thing, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or Genetics, like,
Right.
they like we got our own lane,
Yep.
and we making our own lane work for us.
Yep.
I get encouraged when I see stuff like that.
Yep.
Because no man can hold what they're doing in their hands. They hold their own in their hands. And so I'll say first and foremost, like, I think women should continue to come together with the support of the men, and I think they should just make a lot of loud noises with their music. Do a women's artist tour, you know what I'm saying? Put it on the map with the support of the men who are already out.
That's the key. We got to support them, bro.
Yeah, and
we got to really want to support them.
Yeah, I honestly feel like it's and I hate going this route because, you know, people get sensitive, but it's the only way I feel like people will really get it. But imagine us being frustrated that our white brothers and sisters don't help us when we're like, yo, injustice, injustice, injustice. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, y'all can make a difference if y'all open y'all mouths up and say something to y'all brothers and sisters who are doing this stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, we need y'all support, and vice versa. Like, women will be frustrated continuously if they don't have the support of the men who do have platforms. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, brothers, don't be afraid to do songs with women. You know what I'm saying? Put them on your shows. Let them open at least. You know, if you're doing a tour and you're kind of shy of trying to put somebody on the road with you, then let them be on the show in the city that you're in. You know what I'm saying? In the city that they live in.
Yep.
Put them on the bill. You know what I'm saying? Like, let them do something. I never have an issue. We had Wande perform on my tour in
she's super dope
in Texas, in Austin, and she's hecka dope, man.
Dope, bro.
We put her on the for South by Southwest. We put her on the bill for South by Southwest, and she's super dope. And there's more people out there. You know, Angie Rose is out there. A lot of artists that are trying to do stuff, man. I think, man, they, like, brothers just have to support more. They can't be afraid to support. I think we just sit around scratching our heads like, I don't know how this gonna work. How's it supposed to work? We know how to make this work. We found out how to work for ourselves. So we can't sit up and act like we don't know how we can make this work. There's too many ways to support the women artists that are already out there. I don't think we have an excuse. So there's some women artists out there that will destroy some of these dudes lyrically. And I think a lot of some of them are just intimidated. So, but I think we do necessarily, like, it's necessary that we go out of the way to support. I wanted, on my album, like, I wanted to put a song, and I feel like it would make, on my album, I wanted to put a song with all women, just all women. And I might do a verse. I might not. I just wanted to put them on so people know they exist. You know what I'm saying? But I'm thinking, with the album, it's too many songs to compete with. They might get overlooked. So why don't I just do a single with a whole bunch of women artists that's just going to kill it lyrically? You know what I'm saying? Like, I might kick it off. It might be a cipher or something. And I might just do 8 bars. But after that, the women just got it. You know what I'm saying? And just let people be like, I'm like, use my name if you need to. If they're not listening or watching because they don't know your name or they don't necessarily know your brand, but they trust mine, then fine, we're going to put my name up there, and then we're going to put the rest of y'all names on there.
So promote them.
You know what I'm saying? Just to promote them. You know what I'm saying? Because they're out there, and they're killing it, and they dope.
Hey, family, thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave us a comment. Would love to hear your thoughts on what we were just discussing. Also, if you want to book me for your next event, whether you got a concert, a party, a youth function, a corporate event, whatever it is, send us an email. It's booking@wadeorradio.com. I'd love to DJ your next event.